Hello and welcome to today's video. Hi Edie. Hi everybody. Okay, so in my videos I'm really enjoying hi North Carolina when you guys tell me where you're from. I think that is super fun. So go ahead and send me a shout out from wherever you're from. Hey Tara. Okay. Let's see, I'm gonna go find my spot. We have Miss Kitty in here today again, and Rosie and Daisy. Hello, Iowa. Hi, Michigan. Hi, Canada. Welcome. Washington, New Jersey, Germany, Lithuania. Way to go. Yay, thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Missouri. Oh, I wish I could say it was a beautiful spring day here. Hello, Finland. It is windy, it's cold. We had a little bit of a blizzard last night. Hi, Sue. Hello, Arizona, Montreal, Missouri. Wow. So many places. Hi, Kevin. All right, as I get settled here, readjust all my stuff. Hello, Vermont. Oh, here comes trouble already. She's gonna pick on me. England, hello. Awesome. London. It's so cool to see how many different places you guys are all from. It's so fun. Denmark. Wow, Toronto. Hello, everybody. Okay, today's topic, breed, buy, or rescue. So this is a touchy subject, guys. I think everybody can kind of, I think everybody should, or I think everybody can agree with me that it's a touchy subject. So we're going to talk about it. Hello, England. Hello, California. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so if you guys noticed the thumbnail picture to this live video, can anybody tell me what horse that is on the thumbnail? Anybody recognize what horse it is on the thumbnail picture? Let's see. Let's find these two. Hi, Rona. Okay, so Nellie is the horse that is on the picture of this thumbnail. And I look happier today. Thanks. I was happy yesterday. It's all good. It's all good. Hi, Violet. I think I had 4 cups of tea today, though, so I'm kind of wired. And I didn't really eat lunch. So gosh. Look at who's causing troubles again. What a brat. All right. So I'm going to talk about the 3 basic ways of getting horses, whether it be breeding, buying, or rescuing. And hello, Scotland. And everybody has probably encountered one person or another over the years that says you should only do this, you should only do that, you have to watch out for this, you have to watch out for that. Very, very highly opinionated, okay? So I think it's by situation, okay? Which one was yelling? That was actually Miss Kitty and Daisy squealing at each other. But something I got a lot of grief for, like a lot of grief, when Manzer was young or in the process of, Nico's in the process of getting ready to have him, whatever. I got a lot of grief for the fact that I bred my mare, like a lot of grief. And wow, And even my puppy, I just got a puppy. I got so much grief for that puppy. I cannot believe it. And I'm the type of person where I think everything is, hi Mary, thank you, I appreciate it. And Mary just did our first super chat for the day. $5 up there, thank you so much, I appreciate that. And hey guys, I did a little bit of research. I should say one of my barn girls has been researching. She really wants me to get one of those tripods with the sensors so I can ride and do videos. And so she was sending me pictures of that today. So that might be like top of my list for getting. I think that would be pretty cool. So Suzanne, tell them to mind their own business. I think that's great. Yes, Tara, I'm talking about you. So with these videos that I'm doing, you know, I get a lot of comments, and I get some that are welcomed, some not so much, some that are actually very educational or make me think a lot. And I like that, you know, I appreciate that, because even this gal the other day who really gave me a lot of grief for getting a puppy, you know, she did have valuable things to say. But it was just the manner in her approach that made me feel, I think whenever we feel like we need to defend ourselves, that's when it gets a little hairy. And it takes a lot to offend me, and I think I'm pretty open-minded about things. But when somebody tells me that I make bad choices or something like that, that's when it gets to be, that's when it starts to get a little personal. So, but if you want to, hi Jim, thanks for joining. Hey Bernardo. Oh Violet, you can't stay because you have horse lessons? Oh my goodness. Lucky you. So, if you go back and read any of the comments though from when Manzer was entering this world, I took a lot of crap from people, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't as tactful as I wanted to be, I guess. I got pretty defensive because people were telling me that I made bad choices and all this stuff, and that was just pretty terrible. So I wanna just kind of go over my take on it. So, from my experience, I wanna talk about it a little bit. I put a lot of thought into breeding my mare to get Manzer. And if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know that. So I've wanted to breed her for many, many, many years, but I didn't want to make a mistake, okay? I put a lot of thought into my decisions. So when I was making that choice, I did pros and cons, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I just kept saying, it's not the right time, not the right time. And finally, it came down to it where, you know, I'm like, gosh, I just adore this mare. I just adore her. And I would love, and I've never met another horse like her. And I've worked with quite a few horses in my life. And I'm like, gosh, she just has so many wonderful qualities that I would love to pass on. And I've started quite a few colts myself, probably 40 colts. And so I have some education under my belt. And for me to make the decision to breed her, I feel was responsible, because I was keeping this animal, my intention was to keep this animal for myself, okay? So as far as breeders go, I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary breeding that goes on within the horse world. I mean, by all means, there's a lot of unnecessary breeding that goes on. But I guess the purpose of this is I don't want, this lady that commented on the puppy video the other day, you know, said that I have a lot of people that watch my channel, so I needed to make it a point to not encourage them to go out and just buy random puppies. And, you know, for me, I don't think that's my responsibility to worry about what everyone else is doing. I can educate to the best of my knowledge, and I can say what I would do and wouldn't do, but I'm in no way, shape, or form telling, thank you. Hi, David. How are you today? So I don't think in any way, shape, or form by me buying a mutt, some people call them designer dogs. She's not a designer dog. She's a mutt. She's a mix between two breeds. I'm not encouraging anybody to go and breed. I'm not encouraging anybody to go and breed random dogs, or to breed any dogs for that matter, by me buying this particular puppy. And then I was told, well, that I made an impulse buy. So my husband's texting me right now of things that I should be saying. So anyway, to get to the point, so I told this gal, I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and Bob Barker it on my videos and recommend that people spay and neuter their pets. There. Are you happy? That was kind of my response to it. So here's me saying, don't breed random dogs. Breed with a purpose. Breed quality. And make sure that you have a plan. But please don't breed random backyard dogs for no reason. And please spay and neuter your animals. There's my 2 cents. There's me doing my good part for the animal world. So, but to go back to me breeding my horse, my husband wanted me to also include that it took a decade for me to convince him to breed that horse. And that's very true, you know, but it also was back and forth on me because I wanted to breed her, but she was my main horse. So I wanted to continue to ride her. I didn't want her to be off for over a year from competition and other things that we were doing. You know, I genuinely enjoyed riding her, so I didn't want her to be out of work. So, with that being said though, I don't in any way, shape, or form want to encourage you to randomly breed horses either, okay? So I think that breeding should be left to professionals within whatever industry it is. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to read comments as they're coming through. So for me, I have a plan for that colt. And I plan on him staying with me as long as that lovely mare right there has been with me, okay? So for me, I'm breeding my own horses for my own purposes. And I'll get into what those purposes are in a moment. But I also want to talk about the importance of breeders keeping their operations open too. Hi, Angela. Thanks for joining. So if the entire horse world just quit breeding, we would end up with some pretty poor quality horses left in the world, okay? So like when I bought Ona, I knew that I was going to go buy a horse, and they kind of picked her out for me. I didn't really even pick her out, but that's a whole nother story, different day. It's a good one, but I wanted to go with I've seen a lot of their horses, okay? This ranch that I bought Ona from, I've seen so many horses. Thanks, Jim. So when I wanted to buy a horse, I said, what horses have I seen at clinics I've been to or events or whatever that I know have something in common, and where can I get one of those? So the cool thing about a lot of horses out west and or horses that come from big ranches is they've got a brand on their hip. So like with Ona, you can see she's got a JF brand on her hip. And those brands stand out, okay? So when I've been to different clinics and stuff, I see these horses with this JF brand. And even Buck Brannaman rides some of those. And I'm like, gosh, I always liked the horses with that brand on their hip. They are nice. So finally, one day, I stumbled across the ranch that those horses are from. I saw their logo on something on Facebook. And then I started following them. Well, and then this opportunity came for me to get a young horse, and that's the first place that I got in contact with. Okay, I want to buy a young horse. That's where I want to get it from, because I consistently like all their horses, and that's cool. They've got a specific breeding program. They are breeding high quality horses that have great conformation, they have great disposition, and they are bred to do a job. And they are very versatile horses. And I knew what I was looking for, okay? So in my heart, I knew like what kind of horse works for me from my own personal experiences, okay? So when it came time for me to buy a horse, because that's the only horse that I can honestly tell you that I like went out and bought, for the most part. I'll do a story on how all my horses have came into my lives, but that one was like, okay, I have to buy a horse. And I basically just said, whichever horse that you think is going to work for me, I'll take, because I trusted these people. They've been doing this for many, many years, and they are darn good at it, okay? So as far as breeding goes, what if those people stopped breeding these amazing horses? Oh, Edie, I'm glad you heard that story. That was so sad. So Edie just mentioned a sad story from when I went to pick up Ona. And if you want to hear about that, go to Ona's playlist, and it's in one of those first two videos. So anyway, where I'm going with this is we need these people who breed high quality horses for a purpose. I look at Manzer Sire, for instance, and oh my gosh, the lady that owns Manzer Sire, she is just top notch. She's an unbelievable horsewoman, and she has put so much time, she's dedicated her life to horses, legit dedicated her entire life to horses. And she was a friend of Ray Hunt's. She hosts amazing clinics all the time, and she's just a cool lady. And she owned Amigo's mother. Her name was Hysterical, and she got 10 colts out of that, 10 foals out of that mare. And they went on to do really awesome stuff. And she kept a couple of them as studs, and the one is Manzer's Sire. So the thing that I like about breeding horses is to be able to go back. Like Miss Kitty, for instance. Miss Kitty, her grandmother, my mom rode her when she was younger, okay? So we had, my great-grandfather bought Miss Kitty's grandmother as a foal along with her mother, okay? So that's how far back Miss Kitty's lineage goes with us, okay, in my family. So her mother, her grandmother, great-grandmother were all in my family, okay? And what's sad is I really wish that I had a foal out of Miss Kitty to carry that on. Miss Kitty has so many wonderful qualities that I've not seen in another horse. And her mother had a lot of amazing qualities, and same with her grandmother. And I got to ride all three of them. And we did breed Miss Kitty in 2005, and she did end up losing the foal when she was almost full term. So, it was sad that we didn't get a foal out of her, and I wasn't willing to go through that again. And that's one of the reasons why I waited so long to breed Nika, is I just didn't really want to go through that, and I was really worried about something bad happening to my mare. Because it's reality, it happens, and I was just like, gosh, I don't know if I want to risk this. Well, at the age that Nika's at now, she's got a little arthritis. She's worked hard her whole life, and I got all these other young horses to work with, and she was just kind of sitting there. So, and basically it boiled down to my friend Katie was going to breed her mare to Manzer Sire. And I decided like 2 days before, maybe even the night before, I don't remember now, that I'm just going to throw her in the trailer and take her and breed her. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and that was just I just needed that little push. So knowing that my horse had a ride all the way there, it made sense. So, and I would breed her again. Honestly, I would. I see no reason not to breed her again. I don't know that I'm going to, And it would take a lot of convincing to get my husband to be okay with that. But I like the fact that I'm carrying on that particular horse's legacy. And I've got some other mares too that I would love to breed because I want to carry on that legacy. And if I ever want to go and buy another horse, I'm probably going to head out to the ranch that I bought Ona from and get one of those horses because they're amazing, okay? And the longer I do this job, the more appreciation I have for the horses that I can handle from day one, okay? I have worked with so many problem horses in my life, and David, no, he hasn't mentioned that yet. So he wanted to know if Jason's texting me to remind me of who the real owner of Nika is. But I'm sure he will now that he heard that. But so I want to, moving forward, I really like the idea of raising my own horses or getting them young. I know their history, and that's really important to me. Especially, you know, I look at Petra, for instance, my mare Petra. She has, this broke my heart pretty bad when I found out, but she has a genetic muscle disease. It's called PSSM, polysaccharide storage myopathy. And I spent a lot of time, I bought her as a 4-year-old, and I wasn't looking for her. A picture of her just appeared on my friend's Facebook page, and she was for sale, and I'm like, oh, that horse looks like I need her. And I just bought her. So that was kind of an impulse buy, yes. But that's how my horses kind of come to me. They all just sort of like somehow show up, and it just speaks to me. I've never gone on Craigslist or anywhere searching for horses, ever, in my life. I just see something come along, and I'm like, hey, that looks like it would work out really good in my world. And I just have a feeling that I need that animal for whatever reason it is. So, but I'm not the type to say, hey, let's go horse shopping. I've never done that. Never in my life. But so with Petra, the thing that just makes me crazy is what she has could have been tested for. And the thing is what if I hadn't bought her and somebody else did, and then they bred her right away? Now the foal out of her has got that same disease. You know what I mean? So for me, I bought this horse. So this horse it went from the breeder and was sold to somebody who planned on keeping the horse forever. They never got her registered, and because they planned on keeping her forever. Well, found out that there was a horse-related allergy within the family. They had no choice but to sell the horse. So she was lightly started when I got her, and so I was pretty excited to have a horse that I could do pretty much, you know, I mean, I wish that she hadn't been touched at all, because I like to start them from scratch myself, just to avoid creating any kind of habits or anything. But, you know, she was a pretty clean slate for the most part. And after 6 months of riding her, to find out that she's got this PSSM was pretty devastating, because I had a lot of plans with this horse. This was going to be, you know, one of my personal, my main squeeze, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm afraid to ride her because I don't want to hurt her. So, but it's too bad because she's such a nice horse. I would love to, Jim, honestly, I don't remember. Now that you ask me that, I don't remember. I've got the paperwork though. I'll pull it up and I'll look at it. I should do a video on PSSM entirely. That would be very good, because I think a lot of people probably have PSSM horses and have no idea. But so I feel like that could have been. She never should have been bred. Period. Like, if you've got a breeding operation and your horses are not tested for things, like the mare and the sire should have been tested prior to breeding them, period, okay? And see, and that's the thing with Nika is, you know, I've had the luxury as well as knowing that horse for 18 years before I bred her. So I know all of her, she's been so healthy her whole life. And so I'm pretty confident that, hey, you know, I'm passing on some good genes here. So it's important to make sure that if you're going to breed horses, you're going to do it in a responsible manner. And that doesn't just mean having a plan for the foal, but making sure that you're breeding something of quality. There was a gal, and she may be watching right now, but she has a full-size mare and a miniature stud. And she was going to breed her miniature stud to her full-size mare and was asking me all kinds of questions, my recommendations for like how to prepare and blah, blah, blah. And I straight up told her, do not do that. You are irresponsible if you breed your miniature horse to your quarter horse mare, period. Who knows what kind of weird deformities you're going to end up with breeding something like that. That is not okay. I also know a gal who bred anything and everything she had to horses that would produce certain colors. So the horses that were bred strictly for color only. You want to talk about some poor conformation and terrible dispositions and just rough riding. You know, you don't breed a horse that's gaited to a horse that's not gaited and think that you're going to get something okay. You don't do that kind of stuff just to get a specific color and you can maybe classify it as a warm blood of some sort. It's not okay. It's not okay. You breed a quality animal to a quality animal to get a quality animal, okay? So I just want to make sure that anybody that's watching my videos doesn't think that I'm telling you that you should go out and breed your horse. If you have less experience than I do, I don't think you have any business breeding your horse. So, and I spent this many years gaining the knowledge that I have and bred my mare and looked at the whole thing as this is a learning experience for me and I'm going to share it with the world. And I learned a ton from that. But my gosh, I had so many people really bash me for how I handled things and for the fact that I even bred my horse instead of rescuing one. So I'll get into the rescues last because I think I have the most to say about that topic. So there's my 2 cents on breeding. Now, I do want to say that there's a chance that I might keep Manzer as a stud. There's a chance that I could geld him. It's a 50-50 chance. He's either going to be gelded or he's going to be kept as stud. I don't know. If I keep him as a stud, he's going to be tested for everything, and I'm going to make sure that his personality, his disposition, his conformation, everything is worthy of breeding. And I'm going to make sure that he has got the best quality training that I know, okay, which would be directly from me. Nobody else will touch him, period. And he will be bred to the best quality mares that I can get my hands on and will only be bred for strict purposes. I will not be breeding him to anything and everything just simply to make a buck off the babies. I would not do that. I would prefer to, you know, to breed him to my high quality mares to use in my program or to be sold to my clients whom I know would provide excellent homes. So I'm very particular. So I just wanted to get that out there just in case anybody was wondering that, because I'm sure I'll get comments about that too. So now let's get into the buying part. I have, particularly kids, a lot of times will ask me, how do I convince my mom to let me get a horse? And my response is always, I'm the worst person for you to ask that because I'm the one that's going to be talking your mom out of buying you a horse, okay? I talk people out of buying horses all the time, or at least I try to, and here's why. I feel like a lot of horses end up in homes with good intentions and it goes wrong because they don't have enough education. I could take my best trained horse and send it home with a beginner, and they might have like the first couple weeks is going to be pretty good. But if that person starts letting that horse get away with a bunch of stuff, the horse is going to start to take over out of instinct, okay? And it's not the horse's fault. And, you know, it's not the person's fault either. It's just simply that they didn't know. So, hi, Masters Equine. Thanks for tuning in. So, my recommendation is no, don't go out and buy a horse. Get some education, okay? And my friend Katie did a video. I don't know if she's posted it yet, but she's doing one about taking lessons and the importance of it and all that. But my recommendation for anyone and everyone is do not go out and buy a horse. Do not just go out and buy a horse. What I need you to do is go and take some lessons, okay? Go take a lot of lessons and wait until your trainer says it's time for you to buy a horse, okay? And then maybe instead of buying a horse, if you have the opportunity to lease a horse. I lease my horses to students, and I think that that gives them the next step up prior to going out and buying a horse. There's a channel called Day by Day Vlogs that I recommend to a lot of people. Hi, Laura. The lady from Day by Day Vlogs, her name's Laura, but the person that just commented on the screen, her name's Laura as well. So I guess I can say hi to both Lauras. But anyway, Laura from Day by Day Vlogs, I got involved watching their channel because I really admired how they went about doing things, okay? And they made a ton of mistakes along the way, just like me out here. We're here just showing the world everything that we do, putting ourselves out there to be critiqued, okay? It's a really hard thing to do because people are so mean and judgmental and, it's just terrible. So, but the thing is Laura and her family, they took so many lessons, and then they leased horses, and then they bought horses, and then they bought a farm, and then they bought more horses. But the thing is they continued to take lessons the entire time. So I admire them for that so much that I wanted to meet them. So I drove my butt all the way to Canada, which was like 14 hours for me, and I went and met them. And my friend Katie came along and her daughter Danny, and we had the best time. And I got to meet some really cool people and make new friends. And the sole purpose was I just wanted to say hi. So, and just tell them, hey, I send a lot of people to your channel to watch your vlogs because I think you did things right. And I wanted to give them a hug in person, okay? That's it. So, and it was like one of the best weekends ever. It was so much fun. If you want to see any of those videos, I think I've got them in my travel and adventure playlist. And I do have more videos to add to that I've not even edited. Guys, I've got like 100 videos to edit and get out to you. So, buying a horse, be careful too. So that's the thing is, I see so many people, they just go and buy random horses. I have so many of my clients get in touch with me and they're like, hey, I saw this horse, it's free, it's on Craigslist. What do you think for my 9-year-old? Or what do you think for me, my first horse? You know, they said it's really great and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. You're not going to find, or if you do, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, okay? You're not going to find the free horse on Craigslist or on Facebook or anywhere else that's going to be perfect for you if you're a beginner, period, okay? You run as fast as you can. So I always tell them all the time, no, if you feel like you are getting to where you're ready for a horse, please try to lease a horse. And if they're really serious in my barn, a lot of times I can find a way to make it work for them to lease one of mine. And you know what's funny is I've been doing this for many, many years. But I've got kids that'll lease horses for, well, I've got some that started when they were 8, 9 years old leasing horses, and now they're in college. And they've never once bought a horse. And you think of all the money that they have saved leasing a horse and all the different horses that they've gotten to ride. Because in my lease program, I don't have one specific horse designed or designated to one person. So like I'm going to use Tara as an example. Tara's probably here right now on commenting anyway. She's stuck at home watching. But Tara comes out and she's got like 5 or 6 different horses that she can ride. If I'm using the horse that she was, planning to ride that day, if I'm using that horse for a lesson or something, and she gets here and she's like, oh, Cinnamon's being used, you go pick one of the other 5 that are out in the field that, are for you to ride. So, and I've got 16 in my herd, but I've got certain horses for certain people. And so the thing is Tara, she can ride a lot of different horses really well. I've seen so many people who they're really good riders on one horse. They can handle that one horse because they know that horse really well. But you give them a different horse and they're terrified, or they don't know what to do, or they can't get along with it, or they blame the horse for everything, blah, blah, blah. So what I like to see is you should be riding, if you haven't ridden at least 10 horses in your life, you have no business buying one, period. Like, don't. Go ride as many horses as you can. Get used to how they work, what works for one horse might be a little different from another, but figure it out. Ride a lot of different horses because you're going to learn so much, and you're going to know what you're looking for when it comes to buying a horse. Now, let's talk about this. Okay, so since I'm discussing that, okay, think about it. You can ride this, like I'm going to use Miss Kitty as an example. Pretty much anybody in my barn can ride Miss Kitty and can ride her pretty well. She's a really, really good horse. But she's, and this is up till, she hasn't been used now for riding since October or November, but she can really make you feel pretty confident when you ride. And then I can put you on Petra, and Petra will spook or do something, and it'll make you feel pretty scared. So I'm real cautious of what horses I put what riders on and when, because certain horses can send you back pretty quickly in your confidence, okay? Hello, Pennsylvania. So the thing is so I'm going to use Tara as an example. Thank you, Ferrybrook Furies. Ferrybrook Furies, I think. That was really nice of you to say. Thank you. Hi, Michaela. So I'm going to use Tara as an example. If Tara had, when she started riding, if say like let's say just a few months into riding, she's like, I really want to buy a horse. Okay. If they're really serious and pushed and pushed and pushed to buy a horse and I gave in, I can't keep people from doing stuff. I can't. But I will give you, and as I get older, I am much more likely to give you my opinion. Like I used to say, well, okay, if that's what you want to do. And now I am like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should not do that. And here's 15 reasons why. And once I go through all those reasons, I'll give you 100 more if you still need them. That's kind of how I am now. So if I can see an accident before it happens in my brain when you don't even have a horse yet. I can see it. I can see it coming. I know how it's going to end. So, but let's say that Tara's family was super serious about buying a horse when it was early in the game for her. Okay, well, these are the type of horses that will work for you. So I look at Miss Kitty, great teacher. Great teacher, she knows so much. So she would be good for somebody who is a beginner, okay? She's older, she's kind of set in her ways. People don't give enough credit to these older horses. And one of the worst things I hear is, oh, the horse is too old. I don't care. This horse is going to teach you so much right now. If you need to sell it later or whatever, or if you need to just have this horse until the day it dies, whatever. But this is the horse for you at the level that you're at. So again, we're just using Tara as an example, but when she's starting out, okay, here's the tier of horses that are eligible for you, that I feel would be able to make you grow as a rider, okay? So, but if we wait a while, let's say we wait another year, well, all of a sudden, a year later, Tara can ride a lot of different horses. She doesn't need to just stick with that tier of horse. She can move on, and she can ride a lot of different horses. Maybe something a little younger, like early teens, okay? That's had a certain amount of training, but maybe not perfect at everything, okay? Or, you know, it's just, it opens up it broadens the possibilities, okay? But now let's say she decides to wait a couple more years and just keep leasing horses, riding a lot of different horses. And she waits a couple years. Well, all of a sudden, hey, Tara, you really like that Greenbroke 3 or 4-year-old? You can ride that. You can ride that horse, and you can actually probably develop it pretty well, bring it through the stages of training, and do a really nice job. And you'd have that horse for a long time. So then we think, well, no, I'm just going to keep riding for a while yet. I'm going to keep going. And so now she says on there, she's like, which I'll probably do. Okay, but that may not have been her. There's a good chance that Tara at one point or another has begged her parents to buy her horse. And I have flat out told her, or her parents, don't do that. And now Tara understands, and she's young. She's pretty young. She understands the value of learning and riding a lot of different horses, okay? So, oh, and I want to comment on a question I think I just saw that came up on the screen is the problem is not having any horses that you can ride, that sort of thing. You don't need to have a horse to learn, okay? There's so many things that I can teach you on my channel. You don't need a horse to do it, okay? I can give you so many resources. Just become a sponge, learn and learn and learn and learn, because then when the time comes for you to actually get your hands on a horse, you may not have the physical knowledge, but you've got it in here that you've learned, and they're not the same, okay? You can read things in books and then you can have hands-on experience, but they're not the same thing. You need both, okay? So a person has got to have a certain amount of hands-on experience as well, okay? But I say educate, 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 and do not stop, period. And those of you who, oh my gosh, you're growing up with the internet, you guys have YouTube to learn from. Now, when I say that, be careful where you learn from on YouTube, because there's a lot of really bad crap out there. That's why I felt obligated to start a channel, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe these things that kids actually believe. But anyway, moving on now back into my original story. Okay, so Tara keeps riding. Let's say Tara is with me, continuing to learn, traveling with me to clinics. She's taking lessons like crazy. She is doing jumping, she's doing dressage, she's doing barrel racing, she's doing endurance riding, she's doing every single thing you can think of. And she's riding a lot of different horses. And now all of a sudden she's, okay, it's time to go to college. You know what? Tara doesn't have to say goodbye to a horse. She doesn't have to sell her horse. She gets to simply leave the barn, go off to college, and when she comes home to visit her family over breaks and stuff, she can come back and ride all the same horses that she grew up loving. And here's what's cool. Tara graduates from college. She says, you know what? It's time in my life to have a horse. And she says, you know what, Brandy? I want to come with you out to North Dakota, and I want to pick out a foal. Or, hey, I want to take this mare that I used to ride all through high school. I love that mare so much, and I want to breed that mare to Manzer, and I want that foal. And Tara has the knowledge at that point to do that. So she can get exactly what she wants. And she can train it from scratch, and she can do all that because she's learned. She has the knowledge to do those things, and she gets exactly what she wants. Okay? That's cool. That's super cool. So Jim, you're asking if it's lagging periodically. It seems to be doing okay on my end. If anybody else is having issues with the video, let me know, okay? It's good for me to know now and again if it's working out all right. So I appreciate that. So now, let's talk about the people that sell horses. Oh, dang it. Guys. All right, guys, for some reason, I'm only showing 20% battery. I gotta make sure that I plugged in or turned on my, oh, look at that, I didn't even turn it on. Okay, all right, we should be okay on the juice here. Oh, nope, that died. Shoot. Guys, I'm sorry, this might be cut short. We'll see how long I make it. It's cold out today, so this might be the problem. All right, so I'll try to get through this a little quicker. So, the people who buy horses, a lot of times people who buy horses are crooks, okay? So, or a lot of times people who sell horses are crooks. They're horse traders. They're just out there looking to make a buck, and they'll tell you anything about the horse that they have that happens to be for sale, okay? Miss Kitty, you need to move. You need to move. So, what I want you to keep in mind is that if you're going to buy a horse, make sure that you only buy it from a reputable source, preferably someone that your trainer knows or has recommended that you buy a horse from. Don't just believe what people say, because people are looking to get rid of horses, okay? And if they're looking to get rid of it, a lot of times there's a reason why. So make sure that you're working with somebody who has a good reputation. I cannot tell you how many people that are clients of mine who did not take my advice, went out and bought something, and they were so disappointed with what they ended up with. And people will do anything to sell a horse. They will do anything. There are people that just don't care. I don't have my other battery pack. I'm doing what I can here, guys. I don't know why this one won't stay on. Seems like it's okay now. Okay, so, sorry. So there's my thoughts on that, okay? So, and here's another thing too, is if you find somebody that you want to buy a horse from, ask for references, or even ask for a trial. That's an option sometimes with some people. It just really depends. So if this is gonna die, guys, I got like a little over 10% battery, so I'm gonna do my best here. So the next thing is rescue. Rescuing a horse. So many people gave me crap because I didn't just go out and rescue a foal. There are so many foals out there that are available. Last Chance Corral is an excellent source. They take foals from, they take unwanted foals basically. And I am a firm believer in that, yes. But Masters Equine, yes, you're very for rescue. Well, here's my 2 cents. Only certain people should be rescuing horses, okay? You need to have what it takes to deal with a rescue. So for one, like Last Chance Corral, they will only adopt their foals out to people who qualify. So, and that's really great. But if there's a horse, a lot of times horses that end up at rescues, there's a reason why they're there, okay? Horses who come from people who are knowledgeable and care about their horses don't allow their horses to end up in rescues, okay? So think about that, all right? I've got a horse here that was a rescue. She's a whole pile of work. I've got another horse here that was I had another horse here that was a rescue. I'll tell you about this one another time. I put $7,200 into this horse that I had for 4 years, and I gave up on him. I gave up on him. He put me through so much stress, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I had that horse for 4 years. Spent $7,200 on him. Not in money that I paid for him. I didn't have to pay for him. He was free. Free is not free. He was a free horse. And I do my own training and all that, so it's not like I sent him off to a trainer. That's just how much it cost me just to take care of that horse for 4 years. $7,200. So I want you to process that a little bit. And like I said, I'll talk about him because that's a good story right there. I could talk all day about that. So if you are just starting out, I know a lot of people, they're like, you know, people want to do good things, and I love that. And we're gonna die here pretty soon, guys, so I'm gonna be quick. I firmly believe in doing good, okay? Rescue is so good if you have the knowledge or a trainer to work directly with. Thank you so much, Penny. I appreciate it. We got $10. That's awesome. So if you have what it takes to work with a rescue horse, then that's wonderful. If you don't, you are going to be doing more harm than good. You're going to be putting yourself in danger. Go get a horse that you can enjoy. There are so many people out there that are good people that are selling good horses, and you can have a good experience. Get experience under your belt before you go out and rescue a horse. Now, as far as me, I didn't want a rescue horse. I don't want rescue horses personally anymore at this point in my life. I want horses where I know the history, I know their genetics, I know everything about them. It just means a lot more to me, and I like that fresh start. I've worked with so many problem horses, and honestly, it makes me dislike the human race to work through all the problems. So my goal is to work with people like Tara, for instance. Tara may say, hey, now I want to get a horse, and I'm going to go and get a problem horse, and I'm going to work on that kind of stuff. I've been riding really great horses my whole life. It's time for me to go and learn how to work through problems, because that's what I want to do for a job. I want to train horses someday. That is perfect. So for me, I want to train the people who can go out there and save the horses. All right? That's me doing my piece. For me to spend the time that it takes for having the time that it takes to go and put into all these horses, my time is best spent on educating the people and bringing in my own horses through my program as quickly and easily as possible. And oh my gosh, there is just nothing better than working with a horse that hasn't had any trouble in its life. Oh my gosh. Working with Manzer and working with Ona, oh, they're so smart, and they give you everything that they've got, where you don't have to crack that shell and get into them. And genuinely, guys, it makes me sad to work with horses who've had problems. I love the end result, but it really makes me sad because it's just so preventable. It's so preventable. So that's what I have to say about that. Now, I'm going to end this with some questions. So I hope that everybody can walk away from this video just saying, hey, I should get education. I should go and learn more and get more education. That's how you can help the horse world, guys, okay? Educate, 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 and don't judge. Don't judge someone based on where they are in their journey. Everybody is in a different place, so don't judge them. Just go out and learn from somebody who has quality information to offer you, okay? Attend clinics. Watch lessons if you can. Take some lessons. Go different places and take lessons. Observe, remember, and compare from the things that you see and ask why. If you see somebody on YouTube saying certain things, ask them why they're saying it. And if they don't have a reason to back it up, maybe you shouldn't be watching them on YouTube, okay? So, all right, I'm gonna sit here until my phone dies here. I'm gonna sit and answer questions. So, and if I don't get to your question, be sure to go back after the video is done processing. It takes a little bit, and leave your question in the comments. And I'll be sure to get back to you and respond to that, okay? So throw me some questions. Masters Equine, that's great that you've attended clinics. They're so important. You can learn so much from that. And if anybody wants me to throw out a couple of ideas, if you're interested in dressage, hi Angie. If you're interested in dressage, Joseph Newcomb has a great dressage channel. You can check that out. There's Eclectic Horseman. That's an awesome YouTube channel. And there's a lot of great things with Buck Brannaman and Brian Newbert and Buster McLaury on there. Go check out Eclectic Horseman. And you can also check out, another one is Free Rein, it's called. That's a channel that's just in the making, and there's going to be a lot of Buck Brannaman on that channel because a couple of the guys that work for him are starting that. So check that out. Those are really great places to go and watch. Tara says, I love to do the fancy moves you make me do in lessons. See, I like to teach kids dressage without them really knowing that it's dressage. That's really fun for me. Yeah, CRK Training, that's another really great channel. So anything that I can think of that is really good education. I want to spread the good, guys. I want to spread the good to you and send you places where I think there's good education. So if you don't hear me talk about it, just know there's a good chance that I maybe don't agree with it. Okay, yes, I do teach both English and Western. I do everything. I absolutely do everything. David, Three Rein is a really great place to go. So, do I have a side set? I do not have any side saddle experience, but I would love to. So if anybody ever had a recommendation for riding side saddle, I'd love to try it. Same with vaulting. I've never done that. I'd love to be able to try those just to say that I've done them. I think that would be a blast. Super fun. Okay, so everybody is super quiet in here today. Horses are, I've got Miss Kitty, Rosie, and Daisy, and they're just so sweet right now. Minnesota, hey, you know what, Equine Diana? There may be a clinic coming near you someday. I would like to travel and do some clinics eventually, so maybe you could host a clinic or talk to somebody in your area to host a clinic with me. I would absolutely love to do that. I like to meet people, and I think it would be fun to travel around and do some clinics. So that is definitely something that I'm interested in. Right now, I'm pretty busy in my own barn. I've got about 250 kids, and then I don't know how many adults that ride in my barn. So it's pretty busy between all my camps, and I do boot camps, and then I do youth camps, and all kinds of fun stuff. Thank you, Angela. Tara, I most certainly will. Well, check it out. Boy, now they're coming through really fast. Oh man, I would love to go to the UK. And I think the Frisian farm that I follow on YouTube, I'm pretty sure they're in the UK. And oh, I would love to go over there and meet her, maybe do a collaboration. I think that would be super cool. I want to thank you guys so much for everything, for the super chats today. That is so generous of you to send that. And just so you guys know that all the money that you send me goes directly into me getting new equipment so I can bring you better quality videos. And so things like, you know, my battery dying and stuff doesn't happen anymore. So that's what all of that goes towards. So I really appreciate it. You guys have really been super kind with all of that. It's just super awesome. And I'm going to start looking into a couple things. Hopefully this week I can add some things to my videography. Master's Equine, that's great. Positive reinforcement is a good thing. Oh gosh. Frisians of Majesty. Jim, I'll check that out. Is that a website or are they on YouTube? Everything's going really fast now for me on the screen. So it's kind of like there's nothing and there's a ton. Hi, Colorado. I've been to Colorado. Hey, if you want to see a funny video from Colorado, check out my travel playlist. There's a really great video of my husband and I on a